I am not teaching, I am publicly learning. Hi and welcome to Learning for Life in the UK test, part 450, while doing wrist training. And if you participate in wrist training, that's the general risk. Now we're having here Mary Queen of Scots. I know pretty much all directly. Could make it a little bit easier with exploration coaching drama. But okay, Mary Queen of Scots. So the subject of this video will be more serious, and we're talking about the personal life of a person, which is dramatic and without a happy end. So we're talking about a lifestyle which is not nice. And the idea is that I'm learning that now in the next 2-3 minutes, and then I'm going to shoot another video in which I'm going to cut it all down in one. So people can watch it directly down. We could say that there was a Protestant Church of England established, but this has nothing to do with Mary now. But the Protestant Church of Scotland was established, which was unlike as it was in England, not a state church. So that is the thing with the Presbyterian Church. It is a Protestant church, but not a state church. Okay. Mary Stuart. Her nickname, or often called Mary Queen of Scots. She was Catholic. I'm not sure if I can say it at the beginning because it has no importance on the rest of it. At least there's not mention of what post on it. And here's no time frame. I cannot really include about the Protestants of the Parliament and the Church of Scotland if I don't know in what time frame Mary Stuart was. It must have been 1603. It was the death of Elizabeth II. I could say in the end of the 16th century. She was Catholic in the 1500s. I could say that in the 1500s, there was the Scottish Parliament. The Scottish Parliament was predominantly Protestant, and they broke off of the Roman Catholic Church and the Pope, and they founded the Church of Scotland. It was differently to the one in England. There it was a state church, in Scotland it was not. So, Mary Stuart, can I say it that way? Let's make just Mary Stuart. She was only a week old when her father died, and she became queen. She spent her childhood in France, much. So, and when she returned to Scotland, she came into the center of power struggle of different groups. And her husband was murdered, and she was suspected of having an involvement, and so she fled to England. But so I'm telling it always the other way around. She gave a crown too, and then she fled. But maybe she fled and gave her a crown. So she fled to England and gave a crown to her son, James VI. James VI. That's the thing I really don't know. James VI of Scotland. Mary was a cousin of Elizabeth I, who was the Queen of England, and she hoped for help, but Elizabeth suspected her of wanting to take over the English throne, and so Elizabeth I kept Mary Stuart for 20 years as a prisoner. And then eventually she was accused of, I'm doing it all the saying it definitely, Mary was eventually, and then the accused part. So she was accused of plotting against the throne and then executed. According to, okay, let's try to do it. I have there the first camera running for this fitness and learning video. And now I started the second camera for this little video about Mary Stuart or Mary Queen of Scots. Now I try to say all what we had here and run through. Mary Stuart, or also often named Mary Queen of Scots, was just 1 week old when she became queen because her father died. Much of her childhood did she spend in France, and when she went later came back to Scotland, she became the center of power struggle of different groups. Her husband was murdered, and she was suspected of having an involvement in the murder. So she fled to England, and she gave her throne to her son, James VI. She hoped for help in England from her cousin, Elizabeth I. She was the Queen of England. But Elizabeth I suspected her of wanting to take over the English throne and kept her as a prisoner for 20 years. And eventually she was, so Mary Queen of Scots, Mary Stuart, of plotting against the English throne and executed. And that is according to the Life in UK Test Handbook, page 25. Now we have it perfectly on time. I'm going to stop the camera. To do resist training. If you participate in resist training, participate on risk. If you're just here for learning, you can go directly to the next part. First exercise, legs are standing a bit more than shoulder wide apart, always stable. And we're doing the spotlight. Arms next to us, hands on the fists, and we're bringing them down. And again down. And up. And the last time up. And now the flashlight. The same setup, but now we bring the fists to the outside here and to the inside. We have 3 rules. The first one is we're stopping immediately as soon as there's pain. The second one is that we're not forcing anything, we're going only as far into one direction as we can. Next exercise, the magician. No, magician, that's the magician. Flat hands and we bring them to the outside, to the inside. And the third rule is that we're not overdoing it. So we just want to strengthen muscles and tendons, joints, not to exhaust them. And we're doing quite a lot of exercises. You can take a break at any moment. I'm going to announce 3-4 opportunities where it fits perfectly. Next one, the pancake flutter. Flat hands, and we're opening up and bringing them down again. So last one, now quadrangular cast knuckle. Both hands out with fists and bring them to the inside. And up. Inside. Down. To the inside. And back. Down. Next exercise, you can skip it. The crab anxious to a fever, hands on to a fist, Bring it down and press against it carefully. Pull. Press on top. Ground. Other side. Down. Press carefully against it. Pull. Top. And movement. Next exercise with the T-Rex morning. Flat hands out and bring them down. That was already the last one. T-Rex in the gym. If you don't have a tennis ball, do it just for outline. Just make a strong fist. With a tennis ball, press on toggle. Tennis ball, release again and press again. Releasing and last time, pressing. Switching and pressing. Releasing and pressing. Releasing and last time pressing. Now the cautious big bang, the fingertips of one hand on top of the fingernails of the other hand, press a little and open and close and again open, close, changing, open and close and again open and close. Now the vierde is nur Synthesis Director, offensive front hands hold the fists and the opening, closing, opening, closing. Last one already. And now you can skip this exercise, the frog testing the water temperature. Bring the hands down and flare the fingers. And up with your hands into extension with strong fists. Down, flat fingers. Up, strong fists, extension. Again down, last one. And up. Now the claw, hands flat next to us, and there, close. And open it again. Bending the claws for 1 to 2 seconds. Open again. Bending. Open. Last one. Bending. And open. Next exercise, the bicycle bridge. Bend the hands at the knuckles, hold it, and open it. Again, bending, holding, and open. Last one, bending, holding, and open. Next exercise, you can skip it if you like. Hands up, strong fists, and flexion. Down, extension, flat fingers. Strong fist flexion. Down, extension, flat fingers. Again up. Last one. Down, extension, flat fingers. And up. Flexion, strong fist. The ice axe, flat hand, bend it into knuckles and press it onto the top of all. Other hand, bending at knuckles and press on top of all. Last exercise, the unfolding rocket boosters. Long arms, strong fists, fists to the inside, to flexion. And to the outside, flared fingers extended. In, strong fists. Out, extension, flat fingers. Last round, in, strong fists, out, extension, flat fingers. And again here. Now go with moderate pressure over the middle part of the lower arm. That is where we extend your toe muscle-wise and we want to relax with one. On the other side. And that was for this training. I thank you very much, and until the next time.